Well, this is first day with my new phone. Let's see what a video does. This is the potatoes, which are enormous. The onions from Maine Milling. This is all garlic right here. You can see my shadow there. The sun's just coming up here. This is another patch of garlic. Onion, more onion, more onion, which are just getting really going. There hasn't been a lot of butterflies out this year. Potatoes, which you can see some slug damage down around the bottoms, but mushrooms coming up all over the place. There's mushrooms everywhere. But the potatoes, you can see they have a little red flower on this one, which I'm assuming that's a red potato. And then on the next row over, you get over here, it's a white flower. So I'm assuming that this is a white potato. Again, more mushrooms in the mulch down here. You can see how big they are. They're actually huge. On me, when I put my hand down, I easily touch them. They're almost waist high. And that's 20 pounds of potatoes cut into small pieces, some of them 3 pieces each. So there's about 200 potato plants total. And then the tomatoes, which are really starting to pick up now, finally, and grow, I have 40. There's 30 in this area right here, and they're 5 feet apart in 5-foot rows. So they're easy to get around everything. The blueberries have just loaded up this year. As you can see, that's a lot of blueberries. This plant too, a lot of blueberries, which that has a bunch of web on it, which I hope it's not webworm or some crazy something trying to get in there. But both the blueberry plants are loaded up. The peas are just starting to bloom, which are better in the sun than in the shade. They're much smaller in the shade. And there's a row of radishes, a row of dill, carrots, dill, and chard. And the next row is cilantro, spinach, and chard. This row is chard and beets. And then there's cilantro, which is really getting big, mixed lettuce, and then a package of lettuce that's all the same. I can't remember the name of that stuff. And then there's some arugula, which I think tastes like dirty socks. And then there's Chinese cabbage that is starting to go to flower. You can see right there, there's some flowers bolting a little. And then there's kale, called Premier Kale, down here. That's a flat leaf kale. It's not all crunchy. And so far, I have no butterfly damage, which is very awesome. And then this is pak choi, which in the sun, it's doing much better than in the shade. You can see that's all grown in the sun. Some volunteer carrots. And then you get over here in the shade and they're just smaller. And there's a row of 10 tomatoes and a couple of peppers on the end down there. And then there's a row of peppers, which I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a dozen or so. And there's 2 rows of green beans. And this is yellow squash just coming up. Zucchini has come up and really doing good. And then there's 2 rows of okra, which is just coming up. As you can see, that's all volunteer carrots from last year's plants. And then I have that much more to plant over here, which is about 20 feet by 50 feet left.